Magandang buhay everyone! I'm Aliana Arendain and today we are going to discuss about the Republic Act 3019 or as known as Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. So, let's go guys! So in Section 1, the Statement of Policy. The Philippine government's goal is to prevent certain activities of public officers and private individuals alike that constitute graft or corrupt practices or that may lead them thereto. So in Section 2, the definition of terms. A. Government. The government is a governing body of a nation, state, or community. This includes the national government, local governments, government-owned, or government-controlled corporations, and other agencies or instrumentalities of the Philippines and their branches. So next, B. Public officer. Includes elected and appointed officials and employees, whether permanent or temporary, in the classified or unclassified or exempt service, who receive compensation from the government, even if it is nominal as specified in the preceding sentence. C. Receiving any gift. Includes accepting a gift from a person who is not a member of the public officer's immediate family on behalf of himself or any member of his family or relative within the fourth civil degree, either by consanguinity or affinity, even on the occasion of a family celebration or national festivity like Christmas, if the value of the gift is manifestly excessive under the circumstances. And lastly, letter D, person. This includes natural and juridical persons. Section 3, corrupt practices of public officers. In addition to the acts or omissions of public officers already punishable by law, the following shall be considered corrupt practices by any public officer and are now proclaimed illegal. A. Trying to convince, encourage, or influence another public officer to conduct an act which is a violation of properly promulgated rules and regulations, or an offense in connection with the latter's official duties, or allowing himself to be persuaded, induced, influenced to engage such a violation or offense. B. Requesting or receiving any gift, present, share, percentage, or benefit, whether directly or indirectly, for himself or for any other person, in connection with any contract or transaction between the government and any other party where the public officer must intervene under the law in his official capacity. C. Directly or indirectly requesting or receiving any gift, present, or other monetary, material benefit for the own benefit of the public officer or for another, which is from any person from whom the public officer has secured or obtained or will secure or obtain any government permit or license, consideration for the help given or to be given. D. Accepting or getting a member of his family accept employment in a private enterprise that has pending government business with him while it is pending or within 1 year after it is completed. E. Through manifest partiality, evident in bad faith, or gross inexcusable negligence, causing any unjustified injury to any party including the government, or giving any private party any unjustified benefits, advantage, or preference in the discharge of his official administrative or judicial functions. Officers and employees of agencies or government organizations charged with granting licenses, permits, or other concessions are subject to this clause. This means that the public officer is favoring someone or biased. For example, Client A and Client B. Client A is the first one who filed his or her goods or filed his or her concern, while Client B is the second one who filed. So, what Client B did is he gave a benefit or something to public officer, and then public officer became happy. So with that, the public officer granted his or her concern first, or took care of his or her concern first, which resulted to neglecting the concern of the first client who filed. F. Neglecting or refusing to act within a reasonable time on any matter pending before him without sufficient justification for the purpose of obtaining, directly or indirectly, some pecuniary or material benefit or advantage from any person interested in the matter, or for the purpose of favoring his benefits or interest, giving undue advantage to or discriminating against any other interested party. For example, si customs broker ay may client. Si client is kailangan na yung goods na paparating. And then, si customs broker, ayaw niya tong asikasuhin kahit na kaya niya tong gawin dahil may interest siya na gusto niyang mabigay ng client, like pera, material benefit, or other gifts na exceeding ang presyo. So, aasikasuhin lang ni customs broker ang goods niya kapag nagbigay si client ng gift or monetary benefits sa kanya, which is very illegal to do. G. Entering into any contract or transaction on behalf of the government that is clearly and outrageously unfavorable to it, whether or not the public officer profited or will not profit from it. H. In any enterprise, contract, or transaction in which the public officer intervenes or participates in his official role, or in which he is banned by the Constitution or by law from having any stake, he is a director or indirectly has a financial or pecuniary interest. I. This means that having a material interest in any transaction or activity requiring the approval of a board. J. It is a corrupt practice to approve or grant any license, permit, privilege, or benefit to a person who is not qualified, like a dummy or a mere representative. K. In subparagraph B, C, D, and K, shall be punished under the Section 9 of this Act, and shall be permanently or temporarily disqualified in the discretion of the court from transacting business in any form with the government. Section 4. Prohibition on private individuals. The private individuals are the judicial persons. A. Prohibition of capitalizing and exploitation of such relationship or taking advantage of such relationship. B. The act of any person, whether private or public person, induce or cause a public officer to commit any offense exploiting the relationship as referred to Section 3 of this Act is prohibited. Section 5. Prohibition on certain relatives. This prohibits the intervention of whether the President of the Philippines, Vice President of the Philippines, President of the Senate, or Speaker of the House of Representatives to their third civil degree family, relatives, spouse, to intervene in government business, transaction, contract, or application directly or indirectly. Section 6. Prohibition on members of the Congress. It is prohibited for any member of the Congress to acquire or receive any personal pecuniary in any special business enterprise. This provision applies to any other public officer who recommended the initiation in Congress of the enactment or adoption of any law or resolution. Section 7. Statement of assets and liabilities. Every public officer shall prepare and file a true, detailed, and sworn statement of assets and liabilities within the month of January of every other year. Section 8. Dismissal due to unexplained wealth. If the public official's amount of property or money is clearly out of the percentage of his salary and to his other source of income, then it shall be a ground for the public official's dismissal or removal. Section 9. Penalties for violations. Subsection A. If any public officer or private person committed any unlawful actions relating to sections 3, 4, 5, and 6 of this Act, shall be punished with imprisonment for not less than 1 year, nor more than 10 years, perpetual disqualification, which means disqualification to exercise from public office, and confiscation of forfeiture in favor of the government of any prohibited interest and unexplainable wealth. Next is Section 10. Competent Court. Unless otherwise allowed by the law, any prosecutions brought under this Act will be handled by the relevant court of first instance. Section 11. Prescription of offenses. All offenses punishable under this Act shall prescribe 10 years. Section 12. Termination of office. No public officer shall be permitted to quit or retire while under criminal or administrative investigation or prosecution for any crime under this Act or the bribery of provisions of the revised penal code. Section 13. Suspension and loss of benefits. Any public officer who is facing a criminal prosecution for bribery based on legitimate information filed under this Act or the provisions of the revised penal code shall be removed from office. If he is convicted by final judgment, he will lose all retirement or gratuity benefits under any law. However, if he is acquitted, he will be reinstated and receive the salaries and benefits he was denied during his suspension, unless administrative proceedings have been filed against him in the meantime. Section 14. Exception. Unsolicited little or modest gifts or presents offered or given as a simple expression of gratitude or friendship in accordance with local customs or usage are exempt from the restrictions of this Act. Nothing in this Act shall be construed to preclude or prohibit the practice of any profession, lawful trade, or occupation by any private person or public officer who may legitimately practice his profession, trade, or occupation under the law during his incumbency, unless such practice, trade, or occupation involves conspiracy with any other person or public official to commit any of the violation punishable under this Act. Section 15. Separability Clause. If any provision of this Act or its application to any person or circumstance is declared invalid, the remainder of the Act or its application to the other people or circumstances is unaffected. And lastly, Section 16. Effectivity. This Act will take effect after it has been approved. However, all property acquired by a public officer since assuming office will be considered when evaluating unexplained wealth. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching my last vlog. So please comment down on what you think about this vlog. So goodbye, guys.